Hello everyone, on this video now we will be looking at the few examples of the arithmetic sequence, right? So what we need to first know is that we have A, which is our first term, and then to get the second term you just add the value of A and the common difference. So don't forget that the common difference is represented by the small letter d. So to get this, you just add your first term with your common difference. Now remember, to get the third term, so you will have the two common difference, which means you will just add the value of d with another and then give you the value of gives you 2d. So now our third term is going to give us a plus 2d. So it continues like this one. So our fourth term is going to be a plus 3d, right? So as we do have the general equation, which is Tn is equal to a plus into n minus 1 all times d, right? So now this is your equation, a general equation. So to calculate everything we have been asked on the question, right, you need to have this equation to be fully like, so you need to have the value of a and the value of d, so that you can calculate every question you have asked based on that question paper. So our example now says 8, 5, 2. So here on our example, we first need to identify what the value of d, which is our common difference. To get our difference, we just say value of the second term, which means t2 minus t1, and then to get another one we say just t3 minus t2 to get what the difference. So now we have our t2 is 5, so we'll just say 5 minus 8, it's going to give us negative 3, and then 5 minus 2 minus 5, it's going to give us negative 3, right? So we do have the value of d and the value of a. So as I said that the value of a is represented by the first term, so we do have the first term on our equation. So now we'll just have our equation full to be 8 plus into n minus 1 times negative 3. So our Tn is negative 3n plus 11. So to prove your equation, if is it correct or not, you will just substitute by, since n stands for the position, so you know that our first position here is 8. So to prove that our equation is it correct or not, you will just substitute by 1 at in the value of n. So we'll just substitute by 1, and then if you get the value of 8, that means our equation is correct. Or you can also just take 3, or so you know that at the position of 3 you will have what, the value of 2. So just substitute by 3 here, and then you will get what, 2, right? So now our equation is correct, right? So our question here says that calculate the 15th term. So if they say that calculate the 15th term, we'll just, so the 15th term is the position, so we are looking for the 15th term. So now here we will just substitute by 15. So now our T15 here is negative 34. Now we have answered our first question. Now our second question. Now our second question here says that determine which term of the sequence is negative 289. So that 289 is the value. So what we are looking for here is the position of that negative 289. As you know that negative 289 is the value which is on our sequence. So we'll just say negative 289 is equal to negative 3n plus 11. Now our unknown here is n, so just solve the value of n. So negative 289 is equal to negative, sorry, so we'll just say, so it's going to be negative 11 is equal to negative 3n. Now on our left side we will have negative 300 is equal to negative 3n. So what you also need to know here is that the value of n cannot be negative and cannot be a decimal number, right? It's going to be a whole number since it is a position, right? So here we'll just divide by negative 3 and divide both sides. Then our value of n is 100. So now we have answered the question which was asked based on the sequence we have given, right? So let's look on our example, another example quickly. So another example says that, let me just say, sorry. So another example says that 1 minus p 2p minus 3 and then p plus 5. So our sequence is continuing. So on this one we have an unknown on our sequence, right? But remember this 1 minus p, so represent the first term as it is now. So to get what the common difference, you'll just say 2p minus 3 and then put the brackets so that you cannot make things complicated. Minus into 1 minus p, so is equal to, so it's going to be p plus 5 minus what? Minus 2p minus 3. Then now, so you need just to solve the value of p, so to get the value, the real value of what? Of our common difference, so that our equation now can be, we can have every value, right? So it's going to be 2p minus 3 minus 1 plus p is equal to p plus 5 minus 2p plus 3. Remember this, that negative multiplies everything which is on the bracket, so that negative multiplied by this negative is going to give you positive, right? So here we have 2p and then the value of plus p, so these are the like terms, so we'll just get 3p, and then we take that p, so here we have p minus 2p is going to give you negative p, and then you take that negative 2p on this side, so it's going to be plus p is equal to, so on this side we have 5 plus 3, so 5 plus 3 is 8, so we'll have 8, and then on this side negative 3 plus minus 1 is going to give you negative 4, so when you take that negative 4 on the other side, it's going to be plus 4, so 3 plus 1 is going to give you 4p is equal to, then 8 plus 4 it's 12, then we divide both sides by 4 to get the value of p, which is 3. Now we have the value of p, so we can just substitute by 3 at p, so to get our value. So let me write here, so it's going to be 1 minus 3, so it's negative 2, our first term, and then to get our second term we just substitute by 3 here, it's going to be 2 times 3 minus 3, so it's going to be 3, and then here 3 plus 5 is 8, so our sequence now is like this. So now we need to get the real value of what? Of d, right? So now here we have, so we just say 3 minus into minus what? Into minus 2, it's going to give you the value of 5, and then when you say 8 minus 3, it's going to give you 5 again. So our value of d here, or a common difference, is 5. So we have the value of a, which is the first term, and the common difference. We can just substitute on our equation to be fully represented, right? So okay, now we can just Tn is equal to minus 2 plus into n minus 1 times our d is positive 5. So it's positive 5. So our Tn is equal to 5n, so minus 7. So I said to prove your equation if it's correct or not, you can just substitute by the position, and then if you get the value which is there on that position you have chosen, so our equation will assume that it is correct. So if you just take here maybe the position, take 3, so if you take 3, you are expected to get the value of 8, right, which is our third term. So if you put 3 here, it's going to be 5 times what? 5 times 3, it's 15. 15 minus 7, it's going to give you what? The value of 8, right? So our equation is correct. So the question here says that determine the value of the first 3 terms of the sequence. So now we have already answered that question, because we have just substituted by what? By the value of p to get our 3 terms there, which is negative 2, 3, and 8. So that is what? That is our first 3 terms on our sequence, which we have given right now. So that's well, the question I think we're done now. So based on the questions of the arithmetic sequence. So thank you. So don't forget to subscribe.